Hey, texture, as you all are aware of, is one of the major elements that we have to consider when we're putting together any kind of a composition. So I thought it might be just a little bit helpful if we looked at these two examples together, and I pointed some things out in rendering those. Now, we are all aware of the fact that these are all done on not just in a light source situation like an electronic media, but it's on a very flat screen, and if you put your fingers on these, whether this small size or the larger sizes that we're going to look at here, you're aware certainly that this is going to be a smooth, whatever your monitor is what it's going to feel like. So we're not talking about actual texture. We're talking about ways to achieve this visual texture. So in doing that, it's just as important to be aware of that whole scale or spectrum of tonal values that we've been stressing in some of the other drawings, like the drapery drawing that you were doing earlier. You have, if you'll pay attention here, you have the sense of kind of a dark and a light, and then you have these lines that kind of come through that almost give you a depth, and that's what gives this kind of a rough texture. If you can almost imagine, you look at this and you feel that roughness. It's probably a lot easier to see on this next one. You have a sense of reflection. Look at how these dark lines coupled with some of the tonal values and the other ridges that are set up by using lines, look at how they tend to give us a sense of depth again. And it's that variance, after all, from one surface, the smoothness, to maybe the places where on this particular piece of wood there are little indentations or wood grains, some deeper, some a lot deeper, some lighter than others, and some just shadowed because of a tonal thing. But that gives you that sense of texture that again is very visual. There's a play of light on this, of course. There's a play of depth on this, of course. And your job, it's just a microcosm of what you typically do in the bigger drawings. Your job is just to zone in on something and look at it so carefully that you really begin to see those little indentations and how you put them together. It's not an easy thing to do, certainly, but that's the direction, and that's kind of what you want to look for. Again, lots of tonality, and pay lots of attention to the patterns that are set up in this tonality, where it's kind of a blend, where it's a linear thing. You're going to have to do some analyzing to do this, but you know, analytical parts are just part of any class, and certainly anything that you compose or draw. At one point you're going to have to step back from it, look at it, and analyze it. So before you begin this, look at this. Now, my suggestion when you're picking these out would be to find textures that are easy to see, something like tree bark. Understand there's a pattern, understand there's a variance in tonal, and there's certainly a linear component as well. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit in helping you guys get maybe some ideas. And there are different kinds of tree bark, certainly aggregate concrete, brick surfaces. All of these things have a texture. Now, like I said, we're going for that visual texture. There's no way we can actually apply that wood texture to your monitor screen. We want to visually see that just like we would if we were looking at a piece of wood. So very careful, very analytical, and lots of variety in your tones and blendings and lines. Okay? Good luck, and look forward to seeing your assignment.